This image is usually reflected in every aspect of palace life, and the case of the Bali Nyounga Fondom is not different. Any keen visitor who steps in here is greeted by the sight of these monuments erected in remembrance of the former fonds of Bali Nyounga and the important strides they made during their reign. This also underlines the high regard the people of this community have for their leaders. Time and modernity may have played their part in infiltrating into the socio-economic life of the Bali Nyounga people, but in here, at the Bali Nyounga Palace, it is a different ball game. You dare not talk carelessly, dress as you wish, or sit wherever you find comfortable.
Where we find ourselves at the center of the plaza of the palace here is called Lela. Linguistically, or you translate it in English, we call it the Lela stone. This Lela stone is being mounted by another group of people called the Samas. They're the people down there. We saw the Tutu ones. The Tutu one goes to the shrine, which is out of the palace here. Then by the time they come back, you have this other one which is also related with Lela. It's called the. Before Lela ever starts, it is this shrine that announces the coming of the Lela. When the Fon, after discussing the gods, accepting that there will be Lela, it is the member of this shrine who then on a certain day announces, and they have a way that they announce it, that there's going to be Lela for that year.
When it comes to ensuring that order reigns in the palace, the elders who are better known as Bas know what to do. They all belong to sub-committees, each functioning according to the culture and tradition of Bali Nyounga and with instructions from the Fon.
There are personalities of different ranks, different levels, who have duties to perform vis-a-vis the palace. In the olden days, it was organized. People brought raw food to the palace on given days and so on. And then some people, particular people, brought drinks, especially palm wine and so on. And we also produce a number of drinks that were brought especially during occasions, but also ordinarily. Like what we call nkang is produced out of corn. They call it corn beer, I think. So we use it for different purposes. That used to be brought by particular people, particular families and so on. Today with modernization, things are not quite falling apart, but things are changing a lot. So this produce, they do not come like they used to come then. It so happens that some members of some of the families that used to do these duties are away somewhere looking for greener pastures. They could be in Yaoundé, Douala or Bamenda or whatever. And they come just when they are required. So the duties are being performed, but no more as seriously as used to be. So the maintenance of the palace today is a little more difficult, but it is still organized, and particular people still bring produce to the palace.
From the palace plaza right into the inner chambers of the Fon, many things catch your fancy and prick your curiosity at the same time. The furniture, artifacts, and general configuration of the palace.
The symbol you are seeing behind us signifies certain things which I'm restricted not to release to you. It's the Fon, who is the head of the Lela, knows it. So we don't tell you what that one really stands for.
The ambience you see here paints a picture of how the palace looks like on the day the Fon is receiving guests. But the daily routine here revolves around the daily running of village affairs. Among the many great men and women who have had to visit the Bali Nyounga Fon's palace, there is one who clearly stands out.
Among the personalities that came to visit this palace was Sincraft, Dr. Sincraft, the German colonial man who came exploring this part of the world, and he thought it fit to visit my ancestors. Specifically, he came and met His Royal Highness Kaliga I, who did not think Sinclair was a real human being. Before then, my grandparents had not seen the white man before. And so he had his doubts as to whether this was a real human being or not. So he had people to look at Sinclair, examine him, look at his skin, the color of his skin, and certify that this is a human being after all.
For every son and daughter of Bali Nyounga, belonging to the palace is and will always be a thing of pride. Be it in times of sorrow or rejoicing, the palace remains the home of all Bali Nyounga people.
You're welcome back. Thank you very much, Kembe Gochi. That was